Boxing Day is here, the day after Christmas. The tree is still up, the lights are still blinking, but the emotional volume has dropped. And I keep thinking about what happens after the holiday, not during it. Because something shifted this year, quietly, and that matters. After Christmas, a lot of us hit the same wall every year. The build-up ends, the adrenaline fades, and suddenly you're left with receipts, returns, and a strange hollow feeling you can't quite name. The world moves on fast, and often that means the kindness fades too. Historically, this is the moment when generosity disappears. The decorations come down, attention moves on, and people who needed help are told, politely or not, that the window has closed. That's the pattern we've been trained to expect. But that's not how it always happened. Generosity didn't vanish when Christmas ended. It surfaced after, in places that used to be hostile to it. This year, as Christmas came close, Amazon wishlists were quietly fulfilled. Gift cards were sent without speeches, without selfies, without moral commentary. Care happened without needing an audience. In the same online spaces where I witnessed struggling parents accused of lying or freeloading, the tone shifted. Instead of suspicion, people asked questions. What sizes are your kids? How can I help? I hope you saw it in your communities too. This generosity wasn't performative kindness. There were no gold stars, no public praise, no seasonal obligation left to satisfy. This was choice, and choice is where real change starts. That change doesn't have to end now that all the boxes are opened. Traditionally, Boxing Day didn't begin as a sales event. It began as redistribution. After Christmas, the wealthy gave boxes of food, money, and goods to workers and people who had been excluded from the feast. It wasn't perfect, but it acknowledged an uncomfortable truth. Celebration is rarely shared equally. Today, Boxing Day is a silly label on our calendar that most of us wonder why it's there. But I say it's time to reclaim this practice. We don't need to invent something new, just step back into something old. Find someone to share your abundance with. But don't just do it for them. There's a psychological reason generosity after Christmas feels different. The holiday is loud, overstimulating, performative. Afterward, the quiet can feel brutal. That's when the deeper questions return. Was it enough? Did it mean what I wanted it to mean? Why am I exhausted when it's supposed to be over? That post-holiday dip isn't weakness, it's biology. Giving to others helps us regulate this dip. Not in a good person way, in a physiological one. Because connection stabilizes the nervous system when everything feels thin and unreal. When you give without spectacle, your body remembers something important. You exist in relationship. You're not sealed off. You're not alone. You're still part of something bigger than yourself. Generosity makes you feel real again after the performance ends. Not euphoric, not fixed, just anchored, and sometimes that's enough. In our strange little philosophy at the Cult of Brighter Days, where we're simultaneously a cult and not a cult, the first tenet is simple and demanding. Be kind. Not when it's trendy. Not when it's easy. Just be kind. Boxing Day is a chance to give kindness a container. The question is whether we let care disappear once the calendar flips, or whether we let it become a practice. So here's the invitation. Let kindness live after the holiday when attention fades. Make it quiet. Make it ordinary. Make it repeatable. What that can look like. Between December 27th and 31st, ask one person what they need. Or revisit a wish list that didn't get fulfilled. Or send a small gift card with no explanation attached. No performance required. If you can, give anonymously. Then step away from the screen. Let the moment exist without the act becoming social media content. That restraint matters more than we admit. When you are altruistic, you're not just helping someone else, you're rebuilding your own nervous system. You're practicing connection in a culture that rewards isolation. You're building resilience, where spectacle used to be. Here's the part we don't talk about enough. Helping people isn't just morally good, it's about self-regulating. Humans are wired for connection, not optimization. And generosity reminds your body that you're not surviving alone. When you help someone, your nervous system shifts out of threat mode. Your heart rate slows, your stress hormones drop, your brain stops scanning for danger long enough to feel oriented again. This isn't spiritual poetry, it's physiology. After the holidays, a lot of us feel unmoored. The structure disappears, the meaning thins out, the noise stops, and the silence can feel sharp. Helping someone gives your nervous system a job. It tells us to connect, to respond, to matter. Capitalism trains us to consume joy, not generate it. To wait for meaning to be delivered, packaged, optimized, and sold back to us. Generosity breaks that spell. It restores agency. It tells our nervous system that we can act, we can help, we matter right now. There's a reason anonymous or unperformative generosity feels different. When no one is watching, your brain isn't managing identity. It isn't curating a self. It's just responding to another human need. That simplicity is calming in a world that constantly demands performance. This isn't about martyrdom or self-erasure. Helping others is a form of co-regulation. Two nervous systems stabilizing each other in a culture that profits from dysregulation. You don't disappear when you help. You re-enter the human web. Resilience isn't toughness. It's connection that holds under strain. Every small act of care reinforces the truth that you are not facing the world alone, even when systems fail you. That knowledge changes how stress lands in the body. This is why we talk about kindness as a practice, not a personality trait. It's not about being a good person. It's about maintaining your humanity in conditions designed to fragment it. And that takes repetition. So when you help someone after the holiday rush, when the attention is gone, the dopamine is gone, and no one is clapping, you're doing nervous system repair. You're restoring agency. You're practicing belonging. This is tenet 1, lived quietly. Not because it makes you virtuous, but because it makes you human in a world that keeps trying to turn you into a transaction. If this resonated, the full piece is at www.cultofbrighterdays.org. And if you need a place to practice this kind of care together, we're there. Kindness didn't end with the holiday. It just became a choice again. You can keep going. There are other shorts here. And yes, subscribing helps the algorithm do its strange little job of deciding who sees what next. But beyond that, this is a community. Writing, conversations, places to practice kindness without performance. If that sounds like something you've been missing, come find us.